above him. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Lynn. Ladies and gentlemen, a couple of people we need to acknowledge. Firstly, Charles, the local alderman, and this facility that we are enjoying belongs to the City Council. And I get the impression now, after a couple of years of dealing with Charles in this facility, that it's rather the jewel in the crown for the an amazing piece of equipment for the community. And I then have to acknowledge the guys from the Forest Lake Men's Shed, headed by Steve, the chairman. And the reason that they're here is we would not have learnt about this facility except for the Men's Shed. The Arts and Crafts group, headed up by, where is he? Raymond? Oh, he's really oh, he's vanished. There he is. Headed up by Ray. And just as a precursor to that, we're here until the end of this month. And next month, the Arts and Crafts group of the Forest Lake Men's Shed moves in, and the military modelling group of the Forest Lake Men's Shed, we will have a couple of things representing us in that display. But there will be some beautiful art and crafts. What's the name of that woodwork thing that you do, Steve? Yes. If you haven't seen that, you should. Now, the other persons I've got to acknowledge are Anastasia couldn't come, our local member, and our local federal member, Milton Dick, will try very hard to drop in and say hello as he travels from a meeting on this side of town to a meeting on that side of town. So Milton might be here later. Now I have another apology, and that's for the person who was the official guest to open this show, Murray Nelson, Major Murray Nelson, the manager of the Army Museum South Queensland, which is based at Victoria Barracks. And our association, as Brisbane ToySoldiers Association, with that organisation now goes back something like 5 years, and I don't think they've had an exhibition where we haven't had some model soldier entry, and we've got, I think, about 4 little entries in the current exhibition. And Murray and his good lady wife were enjoying a holiday in Tasmania, and on the way back they stopped in Canberra for a conference, and both got tested positive for COVID and won't be allowed back in Queensland until Monday. I think that says something about Canberra that we can all relate to, but I won't take that any further. Now, fortunately, one of the people who was already invited to come was Lieutenant Colonel Michael Hanson. Where is he? Oh, there he is. And again, an association through Victoria Barracks. About 5 years ago, Michael was posted there as the president of the mess committee, and some of you may know Michael through the Air League unit that meets at Archfield, particularly the RSL. And Dan here is representing the executive of the sub-branch, the Forest Lake sub-branch of the RSL. Thank you, Dan. And unfortunately, Steve and Sharon, the president and secretary, couldn't be here. And Michael, is a very nice guy, and I got to talking to him one day, and I said something about model soldiers. He said, "Oh, you do that." Anyway, cut a long story short, he then found himself on the invitation list to one of the unveilings of one of our dioramas. And what you see screening through here are photographs of the 6 major dioramas that we did at Victoria Barracks in the last 5 years. And so from a casual conversation between Michael and he became part of our little clique, and here he is, and the rest is history. And he has agreed to stand up and open our display today. Over to you, Michael. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Bob. Good morning, everyone, and firstly, thank you very much to Bob and to the Brisbane Toy Soldier Association for the opportunity to officially open the diorama display this morning. I won't labour the point too long, but I think what I'd like to do is share a little bit further on what Bob alluded to just then. So I've known Bob and the team from BTSA for about the past 5 years, as you say. I've been fortunate to see a number of the dioramas during that period of time. The thing that really stands out to me there's a couple of things. One is the tremendous attention to detail that the modelers take to tell a story, and I think that's the really powerful thing about a diorama, is it tells a story, and you can really see the drama and the emotion and all of those human aspects in the figurines. It really brings that kind of story to life. And particularly for the dioramas that I saw in Vic Barracks, they told a historical story. So not only did they bring a story, but they brought a historical story. And I think it's a really powerful art medium to bring history to life and to share history particularly with current generations, because I've seen how much young children enjoy looking at dioramas as well. It's something that really they find quite magical. So I guess without any further words to say on this point, I'd like to officially open the diorama presentation here and welcome you all. And again, thanks for coming. Thank you.
Charles, would you like to say a few words?
Thank you, Bob. Well, listen, it's always good to come and for a new showing, of course, at this great gallery that's been reconstructed, I suppose, going back a few years now, and we have a new management team headed up by Lynn, who's doing a terrific job in further engaging the community, especially the multicultural community as well. Listening to all the connections that Bob, your group has had with a number of other groups, it's really a community connection, isn't it? The Men's Shed, the RSL sub-branch, of course now the art gallery, of course the great artists, crafts and artists here in the Forest Lake ward as well, that Ray has been sort of looking after, being the rallying point, I suppose, over the last number of years as well. It just feels real community based, basically, and there's so much talent in this area that I call Forest Lake Ward, that it just amazes me when I come along and just see the quality of the work that goes into these dioramas and other things and other pieces as well that make up the dioramas. It's just astounding. Thank you very much for the work and the effort that the association puts in, and thank you, Lieutenant Colonel, for coming along and opening the showing. It's really, you honor us, the military honors us in doing so. And I just want to also mention, of course, that Air League too, which is, yes, based over at Archer Field, but they have been doing amazing work for well over 100 years with the kids, and I just want to acknowledge that as well. Thank you very much for your
Thank you, Charles.